Hi, I'm Evan O'Cally and we're here in Galway City, and I'm just back from a lovely little restaurant just across the river behind me here called Vicolo, where I had a great chat with the head chef there, Byrne, all about the current state of affairs of food here in Galway City and where she believes Irish food is headed into the future. Tell me about the Galway food scene. What's it like?
Flourishing. The Galway food scene is flourishing. I'm sometimes amazed at the amount of restaurants that are making a living off of the size of the city. I mean, we have a huge tourist trade, obviously, but we have an amazing food scene for a city this size.
So we have 2 Michelin star restaurants in Galway City. Do you think that the standard that they've set, that you know, a rising tide lifts all ships, that everybody has just kind of carried on and we have a nice high standard, or do you think there's still kind of a separation between the very high restaurants and then maybe lower restaurants not doing quite as good food?
No, I think that the two separate 1 Michelin star restaurants in Galway have really upped the food game. I mean, and we have a very well graded food scene. Like, you have plenty of mid-range, very, very good restaurants like here, and Kai and Ardbia and Le Petit Pois, and then there are still loads of casual restaurants in Galway because it's a student town. There's plenty of people from the country that don't want unusual or fancy food. They just want their steak and potatoes. But yeah, I think it's very well graded. I think Loma and Anir do push the standard of food. Since Anir got its first star, food in Galway has come on leaps and bounds.
Have you seen a big change from when you started in your career and growing up in Galway with food to now?
Drastic change. When I went into college, I had the option of going to college in Galway or in Dublin, and I chose Dublin because I thought the restaurant scene there was better, that I would have better opportunities for stages and training than I would have had in Galway. But since I started chefing, I mean, that's only 7 years, the food scene here has blown up. Even in the last 3 years, the food scene has really blown up.
Where would you like to see the Galway food scene in 10, 20 years' time?
I would like it to continue developing the way that it is developing now, at the same pace. It would be amazing for it to focus more on local produce, though.
When I say Irish food, what's the first thing that pops into your head?
I think it's probably our ability to have everything. There's nothing that you can't grow here. We're an island. We have all of the fish that you could possibly dream of having. We have all of the livestock you could possibly dream of having, all of the game. You can grow pretty much anything here with a greenhouse. So we're very lucky that we can do everything for ourselves.
So what, in your opinion, is the future of Irish cuisine? Where do we go from here? How do we progress? How do we get to that next level?
I think that has a lot to do with training and, well, number one, with the way the colleges are dealing with training of chefs. I think you always have to have a classical French training. That's just the way it is. You don't have to call it classical French, but it is classical French training. They were the ones that came up with the brigade system. They were the ones that came up with all the classic recipes that you use. But I think that colleges should be putting more of an emphasis on young chefs developing Irish food and developing an Irish interpretation of classical French cooking.
So there's been a lot of talk lately about modern Irish cuisine. Do you think we have our own cuisine in this country, or do you think maybe we can have our own identity, our own cuisine in this country?
I think that we are in the process of developing our own cuisine, but I think it's important to remember that the countries that developed their own cuisines were countries that had royal families and a lot of money to put into that, and Ireland didn't strictly have its own royalty. There wasn't a ruling class that was specific to Ireland. We had English gentry, but we didn't have Irish gentry that were pushing like they had in France for French cuisine. But I think that we are in the process of developing it.
Are us Irish chefs doing enough to push Irish food? I mean, are we shouting loud enough? Are we doing enough to promote food in this country?
You can never do enough. Not until every kitchen is only dealing with Irish produce and with local suppliers. You can never do enough. You need to keep shouting for it and keep promoting, because it encourages people to buy Irish, it encourages kitchens to use only Irish produce, and it encourages new Irish producers to come on. So I don't think that you can ever shout loud enough. And I think it needs to be a more constant thing. It needs to be something that's focused on more.
Grace, I've really enjoyed talking to you. You're an absolute star. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.